recycling bin, and inside it we have all the old clay that's been sitting here for probably a month or so. It does get a bit of a smell to it. And this process of making clay is very messy, so you just kind of have to anticipate that.
Does the smell go away whenever you turn in the fire? Or?
Yes, after you fire it, it's gone, and the reason you have a little bit of smell is all clay has a little bit of bacteria in it, right? And the longer it sits, the more it kind of smells. After you make the clay, the strong pungent odor goes away, but it has kind of a mellow, earthy smell to it that kind of lingers. That's good because it helps with the plasticity of the clay, like whether you can really work with it or not. Some people like to use a little scooper when they do this. I just use my hands. So basically all I'm going to do is take the wet clay out of the bin. I kind of hold it for a little bit and let some of the water come out. And then I'm going to put it on this plaster mat, just like this. And I want to build up about 2 or 3 inches on the plaster mat as I go around. And some people prefer this clay to the clay you buy, that's been prefabbed from the stores, because you can really get it at a very specific consistency and worked with it, and because it has all the bacteria in it, it really helps with its workability. So the trade-off is it's just a crazy, messy process. Everything that we do in ceramics is really messy, but we can kind of control the mess and embrace it too, right? It's a very physical, tactile material. I can't think of any other material that we use in the art world that's as tactile as clay. So if you're a hands-on type person, I'm thinking of my daughter, she's 2, but she just loves to play with her food, and she was eating pizza yesterday, and she wasn't eating the pizza, she was just squishing it between her fingers. We're like, are you going to eat that, or are you just going to squish it?
Maybe she was going for Picasso.
Maybe, I don't know. But she just said, and she kept asking for more. She wouldn't eat it, she just played with it. So those pizzas, she calls it Mina. Okay, so now that I've got this kind of leveled out, I can spend a little bit of time just kind of moving it around while it's on the bat. I don't want it to be too thick. Right, so I'll kind of smear that out. See, this is a disgusting mess, right? And you'll find stuff inside here. You'll find like people put old tools, or maybe there's some hair in here, some other stuff. So if you're the type of person that can't handle that, then don't stick your hand inside of the muck, because you don't never know what you're going to find. Right? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of wash my hand off a little bit. You might want to add a little water to it if you want to, but we don't want to go to the sink with a handful of clay. And notice how I just used one hand? That way I'm not just stressing both. So now we're just going to let this sit. If we were going over the long weekend, I might cover it up with some plastic. In fact, I might do that right now. If you're just going overnight, you can just leave it. It will be fine. But I'm going to take this, just kind of cover it up a little bit. And basically the plaster absorbs the moisture. And then when you come back the next day, in the next class period, we'll pull it off, and I'll show you how to wedge the clay. So this is step 1 of making clay from recycled materials. Questions? Concerns? Okay, good. So if you want to make some, you can take this bat and kind of claim it as your own. Someone else can claim this if they want to too. Okay. I think I'll claim that one. You'll claim that one. It's the next day, and we have a gob of clay here, which we have dried out on the plaster bat, and it's dried out. And what we're going to do is kind of roll this up. I'm going to show you how to wedge it. And I'm going to throw something on the wheel. So we're taking it through to the whole step of recycling clay to a project. So what I'm going to do is grab the corners with my hands. I'm going to kind of roll a little bit. And it's just going to kind of come right off of the plaster. It just kind of rolls right off. Here's the corner, and you can see that it just lifts. And you can see the plaster right here, and I'm just going to roll this back. It'll be a little sticky, but it's all right. We'll wedge it here in a second. I'm not going to use all this. See, I've got a nice big tab here. I'll save this for another student. Cover that up. I'm going to take this over to the wedging table. Here we are at the wedging table. I've got my piece of recycled clay. The wedging table, by the way, is just a piece of canvas, and it has a wire right here for cutting. I want to show you the clay. If you get a close-up on it right now, you can see that it's varied in its consistency. Different clay bodies and different consistencies. We're going to try to make it all one. Here's a big air bubble that's right in. And slam it down again. So I'm cutting the clay and I'm whacking it on the table. And it makes a mess. Look, I've got it on my clothes already. Slam that down, slam that down. So you're kind of mixing it this way. I do not like this method. It takes a while, it's messy, it's crazy. What I like to do is wedging the clay by hand. And this is kind of what a lot of Korean potters do. And you know, it's, what I'm basically doing here is mixing it as if it was dough. So I'm pressing down on the clay and then I'm turning it. Notice the motion. I'm pressing down, then I turn the clay a little bit. Press down, turn. And it kind of just turns by itself a little bit too. And what this does is it mixes the clay and it pushes all the air bubbles out. You can see the clay right here is going in kind of a circular motion. Right? You have a kind of spiral forming. And if you see clay in a microscope, it's made up of little platelets. And since this is the reconditioned clay, it's been sitting in the tub for months. It has a little bit of bacteria in it. And that organic material makes the clay real plastic. Makes it easy to work with. Makes it feel really wonderful on the hands. There's a little bit of an earthy tone or smell to it. That's all right. We like that. We embrace that in the ceramic world. So look at this beautiful piece of clay. I'm going to cut this in half. I'm going to show it to you. See, consistent, smooth plastic, excellent clay, and it cost me nothing, right? I made it myself. So I'm going to put that back together, wedge it a little bit. And I'm going to take this little piece of clay and I'm going to turn this into something.